I'm Lauren Green, and you're in the strategy room. Rand Paul and Ted Cruz have already jumped into the 2016 GOP race. Jeb Bush, Scott Walker, among others, seem to be inching towards a run as well. But what about Chris Christie? Once thought to be a top Republican candidate, will the New Jersey governor enter the race? Here with reaction are political strategist Jessica Tarlov and Lee Carter. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Okay, Lee, I want to ask you this question first. So where has Chris Christie been?
I think he's been laying low, and it's probably what he should be doing as he's evaluating the landscape, because I think in some ways the only way that he's going to make a comeback is if there's almost a death match between everybody else and he's going to rise as somebody that's totally different. So I think he's just been hanging back and seeing what's happening out there.
So it's interesting you should say comeback. So Lee, what do you think? I mean, sorry, Jessica, what do you think? I mean, where has he been? Has the Bridgegate thing kind of really...
I don't know if it's really the Bridgegate thing. I mean, a lot of people do talk actually about how well he handled that for the circumstances. But what I would say, laying low but also making phone calls. I mean, the guy has been actively talking to people. We know that he's going to compete with donors for Jeb Bush, right? Like, that's kind of where he's falling in the spectrum here. A guy who's going to give to Ted Cruz isn't thinking, Ted Cruz or Chris Christie. He's thinking Jeb or Chris Christie. So I think watching Jeb Bush as closely as possible to know. But also, I mean, we're 10 months away. We only have 2 formally declared. He has a little bit of time. I don't think it's necessarily going to go his way if he does want to jump into the fold, but I think that it's somewhere between laying low and being out there. I think he's maneuvering. That man never stops.
But he's not out in the public. Well, let's look at the Fox News poll, the latest Fox News poll that shows Scott Walker ahead. He's 15%, and the Bush, Carson, Cruz, Huckabee, Paul. Look at Christie, way back down in 4%. That doesn't seem possible for a guy who was like the front runner, that people thought, he was the sure thing for the GOP nomination, years ago. Lee, will he still run with those kind of numbers? Does it encourage him to stay out, or does he still have a chance?
It's really hard to say. He's a very volatile person, so his numbers are obviously going to be volatile as well. But we have to remember in the past, there were people that have been way down and
like John McCain.
Like John McCain, absolutely. So can he do it? He's a different candidate. He's a different kind of person. Are people really ready for a new day in Washington? I think they might be, but he's really going to have to play it right. I mean, he's got a lot of baggage that he's got to overcome, so he's really got to be thinking about that.
Okay, Jessica, what are his pros and cons then?
Well, I think the big pro, which Lee alluded to, is he's straight talking, right? And people they want an anti-establishment candidate in Washington. Over 80% of the American people want someone new. He's newish. I mean, you also have to think about the fact people are challenging his conservative chops, but he's in a blue state. I mean, this is a man actually who's fiercely conservative before he started running for office like that. So I think really what Christie could do to help himself is to articulate his platform and to get out there and say, this is really what I'm about. I'm not all just hustle and bustle and screaming, but these are my policies. This is what I think would be good for the country. And I mean, maybe he falls in line. Maybe he's a VP pick of some kind. I don't know. I mean, he has something interesting to him. Certainly people like listening to him. He's funny. He's charismatic, and I mean, and he's brash, which a lot of people are into. They don't want any, the polite, like, oh, of course, yes, not necessarily what Rand Paul is doing in those interviews.
He would make good for late night fodder.
I mean, did you see his dad dancing that he did on Jimmy Fallon? It was amazing.
Is he like a Joe Biden? I mean, is he going to be that?
It's a different kind. It's a different kind of funny. But yeah.
Okay, so Lee, I want to get your predictions. Both of you predict. When will Christie jump into the race, if he does jump in the race?
It's going to be late. If he jumps in at all, it's going to be late. I give it months before he's in the ring.
Okay, and Jessica, what do you think?
In agreement. Bipartisan compromise.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys.